Welcome back to FitLab. You reach up to grab something off a high shelf and your shoulder catches. Not pain exactly, just a strange tightness, like the joint doesn't trust itself. You've trained for years, so why does something this simple feel unstable? The answer starts with how your shoulder is built. Unlike your hip, which sits in a deep, stable socket, your shoulder joint is shallow. Physiologists call it a ball resting on a saucer, not a ball in a cup. That shallow design gives you incredible range of motion. But it means your shoulder depends almost entirely on muscle and tendon to hold it together, not bone. This is why most shoulder training goes wrong. People chase the mirror muscle, the front delt, with endless pressing, but the front delt already gets hammered by every bench press and push-up you do. The muscles that actually protect and build your shoulder are the ones nobody trains on purpose. Let's rank what actually works. S tier starts with the seated dumbbell press. It loads all three heads of the deltoid, the muscle that caps your shoulder, while forcing your shoulder blade to stabilize naturally. Brad Schoenfeld, one of the most cited hypertrophy researchers alive, found that multi-joint pressing movements like this produce some of the highest overall deltoid activation of any exercise. Full range, controlled tempo, no ego weight. Next is the cable lateral raise. Not the dumbbell version. Why? Because a cable keeps constant tension on the side delt through the entire movement, even at the top, or a dumbbell loses resistance due to gravity. The side delt is what gives your shoulders width. It's the difference between shoulders that look wide from the front and shoulders that just look thick from the side. Third is the face pull. This one gets ignored constantly, and that's the real problem. Your rear delts and external rotators are small, but they are what keep your shoulder joint centered during every single pressing movement you do. A landmark study out of the American Journal of Sports Medicine found that weak external rotators are strongly linked to shoulder impingement, a painful condition where tendons get pinched inside the joint. Face pulls, done with the elbows high, directly train that weak point. Miss this exercise, and you're building a shoulder that looks strong but fails under real load. Here's the counterintuitive twist. The exercises that make your shoulders look the best in a photo are not the ones that make them durable. Heavy overhead pressing builds size fast, but overhead pressing also compresses the joint at the top of the movement. Do you know what a physiologist would tell you happens next? Without balancing rear delt and rotator work, that compression accumulates. Over months, that imbalance is exactly what shows up as the catch you feel reaching for that shelf. This is where a concept called joint centration matters. It simply means the ball of your shoulder sits centered in its socket instead of shifting forward with every rep. Dr. Stuart McGill, better known for his spine research, has emphasized in his work on joint mechanics that stability at any joint comes from balanced muscle tension pulling from every direction, not from one dominant muscle group overpowering the rest. Your shoulder is no different. Push without pull, and the joint drifts. Pull without push, and you lose power. Balance both, and the joint sits exactly where it should. So the real S-tier shoulder routine looks less like the ones you see in most videos. Seated dumbbell press for size and pressing strength. Cable lateral raise for width and constant tension. Face pulls for the rear delts and rotators that keep the whole joint stable. 3 exercises, not 15. Each one earns its place because it targets something the others don't. What about isolation moves like the Arnold press or the upright row? They're not wrong, they just aren't essential. Your shoulder only has so much recovery capacity in a week, and every set you spend on a redundant movement is a set you didn't spend fixing your actual weak point. Think about your last shoulder day. How many sets went to your front delt without you realizing it, just from pressing? And how many went to the rear delts and rotators that are quietly holding the whole joint together? For most lifters, that ratio is backwards. There's also a timing element most people miss. A study out of the University of Connecticut's Human Performance Laboratory looked at shoulder fatigue patterns and found that stabilizer muscles, the small rotator cuff group, fatigue much faster than the large pressing muscles. That means if you train face pulls last, when you're already tired, you're barely training them at all. Flip the order occasionally. Hit the small stabilizers first, while you still have full control, then move into the heavier pressing work. Your joint gets trained, not just your ego. Volume matters too, but not the way most people assume. You don't need 5 different lateral raise variations to build width. You need one done consistently, with a full stretch at the bottom and a pause at the top, for enough weeks that the muscle actually adapts. Progressive overload, the gradual increase in weight or reps over time, works on the side delt exactly like it works everywhere else. Consistency on fewer movements beats variety on movements you never repeat long enough to improve. Training smarter here doesn't mean training less. It means understanding that your shoulder isn't one muscle. It's a small, shallow joint held together by a team of muscles working in every direction at once. Train the team, not just the muscle you can see in the mirror. Next time you reach up for that shelf, notice what you feel. If your shoulder moves smooth and stable, that's not luck. That's the result of training the muscles that don't show up in photos, but show up exactly when you need them. If this video changed how you think about shoulder training, hit the like button and subscribe to FitLab for more science-backed fitness content. Which muscle group should we rank next? Chest, arms, legs, or something else? Let us know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.